Hey, good people. So I am Lauren LC, holistic health and fitness extraordinaire. Usually I'm like super bubbly and have some kind of cool stuff to talk about. This is something that people don't care to talk about, but it's super important that you know. I'm going to talk about parasites, how to identify that you have it in your body, and there's a very high chance that you do. So let me go ahead and talk a little bit about that, and let's get into it. All right, so parasites. What are they? How do you know you have them? What are the symptoms like? You know, my goal is definitely to give you a bit of understanding of what could possibly be going on in your gut. My specialty is really getting an understanding and honing into gut health. It's super important. What kind of things invade the gut health? What kind of pathogens and stuff that is in the gut that you need to know? This is a disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I am a holistic health and fitness coach. I have been studying these things for some years. I've specifically been honing on to gut health for about 6.5 years. Okay. So just kind of clearing that out there. If you are experiencing some serious things as far as where your health might be jeopardized or something that you're very concerned about, definitely speak to your doctor. Okay. So I have a little transparency thing to share with you. I actually have some parasites. I was able to identify and know, and it's very easy and to get them. It's not to say like, oh my God, you got this crazy disease. You'd be so surprised on how easy it is to be able to get parasites. And this isn't to pretty much feel like I've diagnosed you with this like cancerous disease or anything. It's just something to know, to be able to identify, and you know what to do to take action. It's kind of like I'm like the insurance agent for the gut health. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as much as someone who's a insurance agent for life insurance. We all know we gotta go. We all know, you know, when our time comes. Some people don't care or like to talk about it. So I actually want to commend you for being willing to educate yourself, because this is something people avoid. People don't want me to talk about it. They're like la 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 and avoid it. But let me tell you something. If you don't take care of your health, you don't take care of your gut health specifically, and you just keep eating, you know, bad foods and making poor choices and not really taking the time to kind of learn what's going on in your body, and you keep feeling these symptoms, it's the same thing like you swiping the credit card, you keep balling out. Eventually you're going to have to pay the bill. And when it comes to, you know, like I said, your gut health, and you don't take care of it, eventually you're going to have to pay the bill. And it may be a pretty expensive and detrimental bill that you may not want to face. So how do we start being able to identify and do something with it now? So how did I know that I had a parasite? I started having parasite symptoms and able to identify, and as well as with my clients. And I have a system in place of what to do. So like I said, it's not to get you scared. It's more to kind of know like, hey, I'm having some pain in my stomach. Hey, this is going on, and start really paying attention to a few things. And I'm going to teach you and share like what to look for. And then like, what do you do to take care of that? You know what I mean? Like, what is the insurance plan? What kind of policies and things can we put in place to like really identify the parasite, attack it, kill it, let it die off, and remove it? That's pretty much what we do. So let's talk about it. So some of the symptoms, and this is the big thing that started to raise the eyebrow for me, was I was having gas and bloating. So that's like a big thing. Also too, I started to have skin rashes. I was breaking out like on my stomach. I started to get more acne, breaking out. I started to develop my eczema and stuff again. I usually get it like here and on my chest and my neck. It wasn't as bad, but because I still eat clean, so I guess it wasn't like going crazy. Like if I probably ate pretty poor, it would have continued. And then another big like, oh my, yep, I know exactly what's going on, was whenever I ate something that had a little bit of sugar, I was super, super fatigued and I had a headache. So I was just like, okay, what's up? And it's not about, oh, I just eat clean, you have some sugar, and this is the problem. It was like an excessive, like as if I took a hit of like some drug. I don't take drugs, but you get what I'm saying? So that's something that I started to pay attention. So let's kind of back up. So symptoms are gas, bloating, skin rashes, anal itching. Like if your butt itch, that's something to pay attention to, because a lot of the times, as there are parasites in your gut and you're going to the bathroom and you're eliminating waste, some of the eggs and things kind of still develop in your rectum and stay. I know this sounds nasty, but it's important to they stay there and the eggs are there, so it starts to be able to form. And when people have that going on, when there's also too, this is super important to mention, because like, remember I said this is a process. Identify it, being able to kill it, let it hatch. When I said like develop its eggs and kill it off, a lot of times people will be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do like a juice fast, or I'm gonna do a water detox, or I'm just gonna eat fruits and vegetables, or I'm gonna take this herb, I'm gonna take this gut herb or gut coat, I'm gonna do like a quick gut cleanse for 5 days or something like that. And what they don't know is they create the die-off effect, but they don't do things in place to kind of remove the eggs that have been hatched. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but I want you to know more of the symptoms. So gas, bloating, anal itching, skin rashes, any kind of abdominal pains that you may be having. If you're feeling like some flutters in your gut when you go to the bathroom, as far as having diarrhea, or if your stool is not like whole, like you're seeing food, you should not see food in your stool when you go to the bathroom. And if you do, or like your stool looks fuzzy, furry, there we go. If your stool looks furry, that means that can mean a few things, but it's not being, basically there's something wrong. So I like to use analogies. I try not to sound like a big geek about this, because sometimes I go so over people's head and they're probably like, what is that? So imagine a factory, right? You have some products. Let's say, I don't know, let's act like these are shampoo bottles that goes in a box, right? So there's a system in place. You know how you see like the belt where it's just kind of like, whoop, whoop, bring this product together. Then it goes here and it starts to get into a box. And then at the end, you're supposed to get a box in full. If there's something going on in the whole funnel, like the system, and then it comes out that these are all in broken pieces when it gets to you, that goes to tell you something's wrong. We need to go and backtrack. What happened? At the beginning, does it so it's the same way that you have to kind of like think about it when it comes to digestion. And you need to sit back there and look what's in the toilet. I know people don't like that. And be reminded that your digestive system isn't just your stomach, and you need to know where it starts and where it ends. It starts from the tip of your tongue, or what you put in your mouth, allowing it to break down, and what comes out in the toilet. Okay, so if things aren't looking right, things aren't smelling right, there's something going on. Yeah, everybody has some form of like, people always like laugh. There's like a going joke with some of my other holistic friends where you're like, oh, your shit don't stink. Yeah, your shit ain't supposed to stink. If it's really pungent, something's up, okay? And that could be diet. But if you eat clean, like those are things that some of my clients are able to kind of identify, like, hey, like I eat clean, I've been doing it, and I just got like this really bad smell or a gas or things like that. A lot of times I'm like, you could have a parasite. How long has it been since you did I put them through, how long has it been since you did a parasite cleanse? I always recommend to do a parasite cleanse at least twice a year, and then in between in seasons, like every 3-4 months, you could do like your gentle cleanse, your fruits and vegetable juice cleanse and things. The reason why I don't fully just recommend those are great, but you're just flushing everything out and not replenishing back in. The 30-day system that I have in place that I use, we really kind of flush everything out, give very, very high alkaline, organic, all like pretty much farm to table in a sense, because it goes into a shake. So all grown, no any kind of glyphosates. And glyphosates is the chemical that's in, it's an active ingredient in the herbicides and pesticides and Roundup, if you know about Roundup that kill up the weeds. None of that's going on as far as how everything is grown. So we give you, what I do when I minister with clients is I give them very high alkaline superfoods, and they have a green juice that they have twice a day. And what that does, it raises the pH level, because a lot of times if you got things going on in your gut, your pH is pretty low. And that's when it's hard for the natural acidics that is in your intestines to be able to work for you and kill off things like a parasite. All right. So more symptoms. We talked about gas, bloating, anal itching, skin rashes, dandruff, unexpected weight loss. This happened to me maybe about 8 years ago. Like within like 4 weeks, boop, I just dropped. I had no idea what was going on. And that was like my first time in starting to grasp and understand. And I started really taking this holistic gut health really, really serious, and knowing that if people pay attention to gut health and understand, and that's my goal, to help you to understand and just kind of break it down simple. Like I like to use analogies because it can get just a lot, you know? So like even the years that it took for me to kind of learn, I'm like, man, how did I share this with my clients where they won't feel so overwhelmed and also like not scared? You know, I had times where I was like, oh my God. And it was like, you know, disgusting. It made me so scared. And then you start building up this fear. And we know any kind of negative emotions start to raise up stress hormones, and you just have a domino effect. Okay. So my job is just to make you aware, give you some ease, and give you a solution. Like I said, the gut health insurance lady here. So like I said, unexpected weight loss is another thing. Sugar cravings. Also, when you have sugar, you feel super lethargic and fatigued. That was the final, like, okay, you know, I'm breaking out. I'm not sleeping so well. Insomnia is another one. Like that started to happen. And then when I would have like a cheat meal or anything like that, and I had even just a little bit of sugar or something with just like bread. I remember I had like a veggie burger that I made from scratch, and I had some bread, like a bun bread or whatever. And I felt like I did some drugs. Like I was so fatigued, my stomach, I just didn't feel good. And that was like the aha for me. Okay. If you experience feeling full, like you literally just eat a little bit and then you're like, I don't want any more. You lost an appetite. That's another thing. Any kind of abdominal pains. If you feel like flutters in your stomach, like sometimes I have people say like, oh, I feel like I have a heartbeat in my stomach. That could very well be a parasite. Also too, when you go to the bathroom and your stool is just kind of like doing a little dance up in there could be some living organisms that's up in there. Okay. I mentioned fatigued, anemia, like where your hands and feet, a lot of times when it's like parasites, like from the lower half, because it's from like the gut down, so they have like really cold feet. That also is a sign of an iron deficiency. So there's a few other things I have in place with my clients as far as helping counteract it too. Excessive sweating is another thing. Body odor, like if you are having a little stench that you don't normally have, more than likely there is some pathogens up in your gut that is just reeking out. I mentioned like breaking out, skin rash, body acne, diarrhea, nausea, like you're just always feeling sick to your stomach, you feel like you want to throw up, or you do throw up. Those are things that I pay attention to. Like when I get clients and they work on it, but oh, I feel a little nauseous, oh, I feel lightheaded. Lightheaded is another thing. And if it's happening often and and it's not like they ate anything like really out of the ordinary, more than likely there is a parasite laying up in there or more. It's not to say that there's just one. So what do you do about that? Like now, you know, you're kind of like, oh my God, Lauren, like I got it going on, like this, not got it going on, because having a parasite ain't great. It's not fun. It don't feel good. Like I cannot wait till we do our cleanse, and I'm super excited about it because usually I always do this with my clients or just myself. I will always invite my clients. My clients pay me thousands of dollars to do this, but because I need it and I want to share with others, I'm inviting, you know, I'm doing free coaching in the midst with that. You just have to be able to get everything that I recommend to do the 30-day, and we focus on like mind, body, and healing thy gut. So we really kind of focus on that, give a bit of education on like phytonutrients, superfoods, how to eat. You know, you get one whole food meal a day with 2 superfood power organic drinks, and then we also implement the herbs. So like what we do, like I mentioned, as far as like the die off, people would do just enough to get the die off, as far as the kill the parasites, but then they start to develop and leave eggs, and we don't do the right things to be able to move forward. And another thing, if you're having like glyphosate and things in the gut, put all that, and if you got candida, there's nothing. This is the only system that has been known to really remove that, like, you know, as far as the herbicides and pesticides that's in Roundup out of your gut. So the system, as far as we use to be able to remove the parasites, it basically helps to enhance the body's peristaltic like action to be able to do that die off. So like I said, identify, kill it, wait, there's a little gap period, and then I have them take the herb again to be able to remove it. So what it does is starts to loosen, because when you flush, like even when you do juice cleanse, those parasites, that's their home. They wanted to be their home, and you ain't gonna kick them out. They're going to latch on to your intestinal walls for dear life, and if they do die, they're gonna leave their baby there and be like, make sure you take care make sure you handle it. All right, it's my time to go, but I'm gonna leave this egg here and make sure you grow in this economy right here, okay, meaning your gut. So like you do, it's like I said, when you do juice cleanse and things like that, and you don't have the necessary herbs and things in place to kind of like literally like sweep clean your colon, like that last bit. I mean, just think about like if you cooked some food, right, and you had some stuff in a pot, if you just rinse the pot with water and take it out, ain't there still gonna be some stuff stuck on it you need to scrub, you know? So that's what it does. It loosens all the embedded little like pathogens and things like that that's really like attaching to your intestinal walls. It makes the elimination a lot easier, and like the green superfoods help because it has a good amount of fibers and it has a really good high pH. So we're raising the pH in the gut, getting the acids to work a lot better, being able to like bulk everything together, and everything is coming out. Once it does that, like I said, we kind of go back in, getting any little last evidence, and like you're good to go. So that's pretty much, you know, a gist. I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions, go ahead and comment below. I'll put a little bit more information below, as well as my information if you want to go ahead and join us in this 30 days. We're starting June 22nd actually, but I'm not sure when you will see this video, so feel free to go ahead and give me an email. But like I said, in this one that we're starting for June 22nd, the only requirement is you get your recommended ingredients. You have to get the transformation pack that I'm recommending for you to be able to get this going, okay? So anything else, any questions, if you want me to talk about any other video, like do another video on something, go ahead and comment and let me know. Go ahead and subscribe if you felt like this was helpful. Go ahead and share it with others if you know people are experiencing some of these things. And yeah, it's so easy to bypass. Like even with me as a coach, it literally, because I eat so clean, and I've done like a mini cleanse, but I never like I was like, okay, it's time to reset. And just everything going on in a row, like energetically heavy, like, you know, all of those things, it's time to like release. So yeah, if you want to join, go ahead, send me an email and I can get more information and everything out to you. Any kind of questions that you have, feel free. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.